Is he calling Nancy?
Ready?
Isn't she, yes, Superwoman?
All right, good evening and welcome to the May 4th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And thanks for Jason for showing up, and any of you folks that have tuned in, David is not here tonight, so Nancy is serving as both the videographer and administrator. Couple of things, just want to remind everybody to continue to recycle if in fact you do recycle, and if you're not a recycler, please make every effort to recycle. Not only cuts down the waste stream, but also saves the town of Waterboro money. We do have today, and I don't know if everybody can see that over the screen, but we do have the town report, which is now out and published. Kind of, 5 weeks plus ahead of town meeting. So would hope that everybody can digest what is in here. And again, this is for July, the period of July 1, 2008 through June 30th, 2009. If you're looking for the town meeting warrant, you will not find that in the document. That will be available and published here within the next week or so, once we finalize everything and sign it off. So, and it gets officially posted. So if you want to stop by and pick up a town report, feel free to do that. There's plenty of them here at the town office. And I think we're spreading them around in the local stores. So this year's town report is dedicated to Willis Lord, one of the first times that I can recall anyway that we've actually dedicated a town report to someone that is not deceased. And not that we wish anything to happen to Willis, but wanted to certainly recognize Willis for his contribution to the town of Waterboro, and recognize him while he can still enjoy that recognition. So anyway, they're available at the town hall here, so you can pick up your copy at your convenience, and again, I believe they're around at some of the stores in town. We have no appointments this evening. Any other announcements from the board?
Dennis, I just wanted to do more of a parental warning. Something that I'm coming across a lot lately in my profession is something known as sexting. And what sexting involves is we're seeing a lot of teenagers who are taking photographs of themselves partially nude and sending it along in text messages to boyfriends and whatnot. And then unfortunately, when the relationship goes sour, or even before them, they're getting shared. So I would encourage parents of teenagers to please know what your kids are doing with their cell phones. Check, make sure they're safe, talk to them about this phenomena, and make sure that you know what your kids are doing.
All right, good advice. I know, talking to Sean, there's a lot of different things that are in our day and age we probably didn't see, but
Oh my
things
gosh, I guess not.
are changing now in the changing landscape. So,
And I would say, don't think that your kid's too young for that, because we're seeing this happening with kids as young as 12 years old.
Yep.
Jeez.
It is a different culture today,
Sure.
right?
My mother would have killed me. Holy mackerel, my little French mother.
Let's not bring her into the conversation.
Another town resident lost.
Yeah, and Gordon reminds me, we did have another town resident lost this week. Those of you that knew Ernie Roberge, he passed away on Sunday? Sunday. So, anything else?
I'd like to welcome Representative Wagner to our meeting, and Mrs. Tina Cody, Chairman of the Finance Committee. I'd like to recognize her.
And Jason's holding down
Yep,
the back row.
Corner.
that's what he says.
All right, moving along, hearing and delegation. Reports, administrators report. Yeah. Selectmen's reports. When is the next 12-town group? Is 3 weeks from now?
Third, I believe it's the third
Third Monday of the month.
Monday
The
of
17th, right?
the month.
Okay, committee reports tonight. Finance committee is on the docket.
We met last week.
Need to
finalized-
get up to the podium because it doesn't go over
They won't
the...
hear
It
you.
doesn't pick up on the tape.
We met last week, finished up our recommendations for the warrant articles as they were written, and I guess we're just going to wait for the town meeting.
Okay.
But it was a pretty short and sweet meeting last week. Everybody was there. It was
Yeah.
one of the first times we've had everybody present. People have been going on vacation, so it's been good.
All right.
Been good. Thank you.
Just one moment. How do you think the whole budget process went this year? I know that last year there was some concerns about some difficulties that arose. Do you think that those have been addressed this year, or?
I think 90% of it had been addressed this year. Being able to see the actual written article was a big relief to all of us, because there were some changes that were made after we made a recommendation last year that made it look as though we were recommending an article to be passed when we weren't, when it was written in... The way it was presented to us last year, it was like line item last year, and we said yes, no, whether we agreed to it or not, and this year we actually got the written article. So as long as those articles don't change the way they're written, then our recommendation should be great. So it was a lot better this year than it was last year. The constant changing, but you're going to get that every year, that's a burden to everybody.
Yeah,
But trying to keep up on what changed from the prior week, it was hard. Because we didn't make it to your meetings, so we had no idea what you guys had talked about. So we would sit down and look at the new spreadsheet, and we would try to figure out what changed.
Is the major change, do you think, the fact that the budget is ready a lot earlier before town meeting this time, is that therefore it's maybe the selectmen aren't scrambling at the last minute, making some changes because some new information came up, and therefore the finance committee got left out of that process, or now that we're done?
Well, we didn't miss
5,
any of the
6 weeks ahead
deadlines
of
last year, did we? I
Excuse
thought we had everything on
They were
time
just,
last
yeah,
year.
but it was
I
just,
just
it
can't
was
argue.
right up to the fence.
Well, I
last
mean,
year.
even still, you could get something
Right.
kind of tossed on there now that we would have to scramble, but no, I think that went okay. Because last year, all the deadlines were met last year, they were all met this year, plus or minus a day or two, right? It really, compared to last year's budget, right, it was about the same, the timing.
this year you did get to meet with the department heads. I mean, at least you got to hear them speak, and was that a help or not?
Well, I guess a little bit.
Yeah, that wasn't a,
People pretty much had their minds made up if we agreed on an expense, and it didn't help to have, for me anyways, I mean,
Yeah.
I can only speak for myself, but
Yeah.
for me, it didn't help. I saw the breakdown on the budgets, and I had my mind made up whether or not I was going to recommend an expenditure. And 90% of it we agreed on.
yeah, Yeah.
There was a few that a couple of us, it was 3 on 2,
yeah.
but for the most part, we agreed on pretty much everything.
Well, good.
The main thing is not coming up with last-minute surprises.
Right,
I think that's the
Yeah.
thing that really,
yeah.
I think us setting that timeline at the beginning of the budget season, I think it was certainly less stressful for us
Yeah.
as a board. We had deadlines, and we did a really good job of meeting those deadlines and getting stuff done, and we're not, I think last year at about this time, we were still working.
Well, I think
on budget.
one of the other things that we did differently this year, other than the timelines, was, I think we took 2 Saturdays
That was a
Yeah.
big help.
and went through an extensive amount of work, I think, in those 2 Saturdays. And I guess my recommendation as we go forward is that those, they weren't all day, but, 5, 6-hour workshops probably have to be used jointly with the finance committee and the department heads or whatnot. And I think if we concentrate on, more, I guess, quality meetings, right, like that we're not trying to decide something in an hour workshop, right? Because I think last year, the biggest problem was we go through something in a 1-hour workshop on a Thursday night, and the next Thursday night, we'd undo it all,
That's right.
So,
Yeah, I think we got more work done in a 5-hour workshop than we did in 5 1-hour workshops.
right.
I
Because
think-
you're always trying to review where you were, you're spending too much time doing it. In 5 hours, you're there, and it's 80% good work time.
yep.
I think having those longer sessions too meant we had less times that we were trying to meet on the budget, which meant we were able to capture people into the meeting more than, trying to commit to every Thursday night last year.
Yeah.
You always had somebody that was missing, but
Yep.
by setting a couple Saturdays aside, you had everybody here because it wasn't the same time commitment every single week.
Yep.
And I think sticking to your deadlines would be key, like the milfoil harvester thing. I mean, that came at the last minute, and we didn't make a recommendation on that because we didn't feel we had all the information we needed. It was just kind of thrown in there.
And
And
that was-
everybody knows, the department heads and Lake Arrowhead, they know the dates, they know the deadlines, so,
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but we got that after, really.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was
So
the
you
timing
stick to
of when they
dates
got
and
the
stick-
grant.
Stick with them, there's no exceptions is when it comes to budget. As far as I'm concerned, there should be no exceptions. Department heads and Lake Arrowhead, they all know the dates.
Good,
Thank you
Anything
very
else?
much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
All
thanks.
set?
New business, discuss vote public hearings, okay? We need public hearings on the referendum items, which there will be 3 questions, right? Question 1, 2, and 3. One is on the additional funds, or not the additional, but the surplus funds, or the unexpended funds in the $200,000 bond that we took out for the West Road, where we worked with the state. And the second one is, should we establish a charter commission? And the third one is, should we institute a paper bag or pay-as-you-throw, or whatever you want to coin the phrase. So, well, legally, I think we need to do this 10 days prior to, or no later than 10 days prior to town meeting. However, next week at this time, or at least next Wednesday, which is it actually starts the 8th, right? The 8th is the kickoff for absentee ballots. So we're really up against that time frame now, not that we have to have the public hearings before people start voting, but if they want to be, as educated as possible before they vote, we should. So it really ties us down to probably next Tuesday night of having the public hearing.
And it's 7
Yeah.
days.
But that's only
We
7
need
days.
7 days advance notice, right? So,
Would you,
Right,
don't
so
you
I
have,
guess
you have to publish it too, right?
So it would have to be posted tomorrow, right?
I would do it the week after,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
Okay.
tight.
so that you would have time to get everything posted.
Yeah, make sure it hits, because you've already missed the deadline for,
And that's the 18th, is it?
Yep, that's fine. Everybody, I'm not sure we have to vote on it, but if everybody's in agreement, we'll tee it up. Public hearings of late have been sparsely attended and whatnot, but I think we do, have an obligation to at least probably do it a half hour per hearing or per question, right? So,
That's the same night that the insurance rates will be open.
What about candidates night? Should we do that because of the absentee ballots sooner, or? put it off until the beginning of June? I don't personally care, because I won't be
Sooner
involved.
rather than later.
Yeah,
Sooner,
you've
right?
got to give the people that have absentee ballots an opportunity to
Well,
look at that.
should we do that on the same night, the 18th?
No, you gotta do that
No,
a
it's
different night.
it's typically
Oh,
been on a
that's,
different night.
well, no, because what we did, well, I couldn't start the meeting, we used to start the meeting at 6 and do everything in that hour, and then at 7 o'clock, we started the candidates night, is how we did it. So, but that's, of course, we got a few candidates in the room, so,
Well, you're going to have, anybody, is the school board is uncontested? Oh, there's two. So there's a contested race at school board, there's a contested race certainly for the road commissioner's job, contested rate for the 3-year term for the board, for this board, and an uncontested race for the 1-year term for selectmen. So you're going to have...
What about the water district?
And, well, yeah,
we
we've
don't do
always
them, do we?
entertained the water district,
Yeah, we've always-
that thing as well. I don't know if there's more than just David or not. Okay, so, but that adds up real quick to 6, 8, 10, 11 candidates, right?
We're going to ask Bob Powers to moderate again, or?
Yeah, I would think that that would be, I mean, he's always been pretty, I think last time who did it last time was
Chris Bennett.
Bennett.
that's right.
Right, because Bob was unavailable or something, but either way. But whatever your,
So when do you
Pleasure
think
it
would
is,
be a
as-
good date? Because it's either after, well, it's...
well,
how about
I
the
guess I would
20th?
just suggest that the three of you pick a date, because there's two of us that are,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Just take it. Well, I stand up, then I'm going.
When are the absentee ballots going into effect?
Next week.
next week.
The 10th?
Well, the 11th is the first day that she'll have any here. And again,
First?
I don't care, is that too far out, or too...
June 1st is...
I mean,
How
there's
about
no,
Wed-
there's
What about
no,
Wednesday the 12th?
there's no legal obligation, right, to have a candidate.
No.
I mean, it doesn't, so it's really for the people, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no, well, I gotta do it by this date or that date. Just say pick a date.
Well, it's
Well,
either,
it's both unfair to the candidate and the voter if they don't have the opportunity to hear the candidates
That's how I
prior
feel,
to.
too.
It doesn't give the candidates the option of having some exposure, nor does it give the voter, you know,
The absentee
knowledge.
voter, you're
The
talking.
absentee voters, I mean, they're voting blindly.
yeah, and we usually, last time we get quite a few.
How about May 12th?
Well, that's, now you're in the same kind of situation that,
Well, it's just one day.
right,
If you
but
say it's the
but
11th.
now, I mean, what you want at candidates night is as many people as possible, right? So
Right.
It's only a week away.
my only suggestion is if it's only a week away, then you're trying to, but that's, you three pick the date and we'll drive a stake into the ground.
How-
The
what's
17th, Monday night?
That's 12 town group.
That's 12-town group?
Yep.
Okay, the 19th.
What's the 19th, there's something with the school, isn't there?
19th is a Wednesday, I don't know.
Is that
The
at 5
19th,
o'clock?
the 19th at 5 o'clock is the meeting with the school.
Yep.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Well, what's wrong with the 25th, May 25th?
Well, the 20th.
25th, that's the selectmen's.
Yeah, but that's like I said,
And
if
that's
the...
putting it right at the end of the
You
absentee
can have an
voting.
Yeah, I
hour-long
know.
selectmen's meeting on the 25th.
We'll go back to how about the 13th? That's a Thursday night. I mean, that's giving the candidates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days which to plan.
That's fine, I don't care, and we have to get Bob Powers too, I mean,
Yeah, I'll get a hold of Bob or
Well, the 13th,
Nancy can.
something's,
Is there anything on the 13th?
What's your schedule?
I don't have anything on this.
Okay.
13th is fine with me.
13th is fine with me. Want to try to get in touch with Bob and see?
All right.
What time?
6?
6 o'clock,
No? You're going to want to start early, I'm telling you. Bob's not going to want to be here till midnight.
yeah.
Well, you have to have some limitations, right?
It's not
But
gonna be-
6
I mean,
o'clock
you
is
you can get it
most
done in a couple of hours, 6 to 8 or something like that. I think you can get it done in 2 hours. But we could do it 6 o'clock on the 13th.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
I don't think we need to vote. You're all set on that, right? So you're going to
The
get
three
it.
of us are already for it. The two of you
We're
have to
gonna-
abstain,
We're not
so.
going to vote. All right, so the 18th is the public hearing for the 3 referendum questions. That will be the first thing at the at the selectmen's meeting, so 6, 6:30, 7, and 7:30, I guess. We give them each a half hour, and we'll run the meeting in amongst that if we have to. And the 13th, Thursday night, the 13th. So we need to make sure that all the candidates know that.
That's next Thursday night.
That's next Thursday night, right?
Should, before the 18th too, on the paper, we should, there should be an article on what these the referendums votes are, because we may get more people when they, especially tied in with the transfer station.
Yeah. So we can put something together. I think, John, you and I can at least do the transfer station thing, or anybody
Sure.
with the input, but we should work with Pam. We'll put together one half page or something out of Smart
Yeah.
Shopper and say these are the rationale.
Try to make it as simple as possible.
All right?
Yeah.
Anything else on item 1? No, we'll move on to old business. The meeting with RSU 57, I believe everybody's got the copy of Frank Sherbin, Superintendent Sherbin's note. He is suggested May 19th at 5, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow night, right?
Yep.
At the middle school, seeing as how the Finance Building Committee meeting will be having something on it, what he would like to have is, what is our intent for the meeting? So, I think all we really need to do is to get back to him that we would like to open up, the intent is let's talk about the situation, right? At least, maybe put some framework around, I'm not sure we'll have an outcome of that, but I think that at least has to be, here's the discussion points, here's what we would like to accomplish, right? So that everybody at least recognizes that we do and we don't have an issue, right?
Oh, we know we got an issue.
I
The question is does the school recognize that
Right.
they're involved with the issue?
I can get some of the pictures that the road review committee has taken over the past couple of years and get them together in a booklet format so that
That'd
we
be
can
great.
hand something out to
Yeah,
each
and I
one of
think
the
all we
members.
really need to do is to give Frank something that says, this is kind of, the board would like to at least bring the subject up, with the school board who ultimately is in charge of the property, right, and the results, and at least start that dialogue.
9 inches too long.
Right. So, and we'd be more than willing to present what we see as the outcome of, number one, having 100-year storms
Does it
back
happen
to
every
back
2
to
years?
back.
Yeah.
And number 2, certainly the result of a significant change in the landscape and what that has seemed to have caused. But
Yeah, I think the major thing that I see on this is not going in and say, here's the problem, you're responsible, rather than say, the school knows that there's a problem because they got flooded out. They got flooded too. So we, the school, and the neighbors have a flooding problem. Now, what can we do? And if you go into it with a, you're responsible, you got to fix it, then they'll say, talk to my lawyer,
They will.
and the discussion's over.
So can we put some kind of a statement together that goes back to Frank that kind of captures that? Other than that, for business, I think,
Should we notify the area residents on that? That this
well, I think
meeting's
there's
taking
been
place?
a number of emails that, at least a couple of concerned parties, so we can at least go back to them to say, I mean, the meeting is really between the board, them, I think, certainly our road review committee, road commissioner.
I'm just thinking when it's a public meeting, if we
Well, they
advise them.
they certainly have a right to come. I think the expectation that they could come and be heard may very well be something different, right? I mean,
Right.
it's not being designed as a forum for them to come and
Right.
say, well, I've got bad water. I mean, we know that people have bad water issues, both drinking and flooding, basically, so. But certainly, they're more than welcome to come, I think, and to listen, and I guess if the school board would like them to participate, fine, but that's not the intent of the meeting.
And it's not our meeting,
It
it's
is
the
not,
school's
right,
Right.
exactly.
meeting. We're
So-
guests of that.
All right?
Being at 5 o'clock, are we all going to be able to make it?
Yeah, as long as I can plan it, I can be there, I think. All right. Workshop. The policy of pay-as-you-go or pay-as-you-throw or whatever, right? I think the Transfer Station Committee has kind of made a number of recommendations to us. I'm not sure we got to get into a whole lot of detail of this is the policy. I mean, the article or the question will read very simply, would you favor an equitable recycling waste management system that credits each household and business with 52 bag tags per year to be used for the disposal of household waste at the transfer station, with subsequent tags being sold for $1 each? Right?
Yep, so I think the major issue is 52 bags, free, $1 each after that. And then the next one is, when does the when does it start? I think probably the earliest you're going to be able to get it going would be August 1st. Get a month to get them to have it pass, get the bags ordered, and then you got to get them distributed. So
I think.
and I'm not sure how we're distributing.
I really think that, our
I mean, the
policy's
tags
got to
on the
be,
back.
say, effective August 1st. That it's our intent, if this passes in a referendum question, August 1st, and I think we have to have some grace period, right? I mean, I'm not sure you pull the curtain down on August 1st and say nothing goes, because there's going to be some
Have a
learning.
30-day
I think you give a month.
indoctrination period.
I think you'd give a month grace to.
So I think if you really look at it from September on, we really then become pretty hard fast that nothing comes in unless it's got a tag on it.
My only concern about a grace period per se would be how many people are going to say, well, yeah, it's August 1st, but I don't have to start using my tags until September
Yeah,
1st,
yeah.
so then the people that are being upfront about it start using their tags, then they're kind of short, where the people that just are flagrantly ignoring the policy.
Well, then I think then you put a stake in the ground that it's, you get the month of July, because the vote's going to take place in June, so we're really not going to sort everything out until probably the end of June. So the real question is do you take, July and August and say, or say 45 days, that September 15th, it starts, period.
I think you use that, instead of having a grace period, use that as a window of education. Maybe we have a brochure that we have printed up that start, July 1st, at the transfer station, they start handing out these brochures to, folks that are coming in to use the facility. In the brochure, very clear, on such and such a date, we're no longer going to accept trash unless it's
Tag.
tagged.
Right.
How are we going to get the tags to people? Because that's the biggest piece of information right there, is handing out the tags to people.
Well, I think one of the things that we had discussed was the tags were going to go to people who bought a sticker at the transfer station. So,
Got to
If-
be done, in my view, it's got to be done at the transfer station.
If
If
you,
they've already bought a new sticker, then they, and I think there is time. We certainly can have, and Clint's very, thorough with some of this stuff. You can, even though we don't order tags, you can have the tags designed and quoted and know exactly what you're going to do, that you can pull the trigger on.
Yeah.
And I think, effective July 1, if he can have some, he might not have the whole quantity, but he could at least have some stream of them coming in. And if people start buying the new transfer station sticker, then they would get their allotment with that transfer station sticker.
And do the new stickers, stickers go out on July 1?
Well, people start buying them in June, right?
so we just do a voucher,
Right.
But you're supposed to have it by July 1?
yes.
Right. So
Okay.
if they bought it in June, all they got to do is show evidence that they bought it and get their allotment, right?
Give them a
Or you
voucher
give
when
them a
they buy
voucher,
their
right?
dump sticker, transfer station sticker. They get a voucher. You're entitled to 52 tags.
They
Here's
have a
the
list
date.
that they keep,
Yeah.
so they can just go and
Right.
check that this
Yep.
person didn't get.
Yeah, I don't think it's got to be anything real super sophisticated or anything else.
Well, the main thing is, ideally, you'd have a check you'd have all the property owners, and when they got their sticker, when they got their tags, their name got checked somehow, whether it's
Nancy.
electronically or something like that. Then, and even some sort of signature or who picked it up. So if someone says, we never got them, said, here it is, it was signed for on
Well, they have to have their-
July 10th by so-and-so.
You have to have your car registration to get a sticker.
Yep.
Can't get a sticker unless you get your car registration. The only thing that will come into play is that you and your wife both have a sticker. You're only going to get one allotment. Okay, so that's the thing that will have to be managed.
Yeah, but there's, it's the, someone comes in, gets this, doesn't tell the spouse or the whoever, and then they come in and they
Not our
start
problem.
raising.
Not our problem to resolve spousal issues, right?
Well, the thing is, they say, well, I don't remember getting it, and, well, I didn't get it.
How about this issue?
Here it is, you signed for it, right here.
How about this issue? The people that live in apartments or Applewood that don't have a vehicle, and they have their trash picked up by one of the commercial haulers in town.
Yep.
How are they going to, if we're asking the commercial haulers to look,
Yep.
to make sure that there's a tag on there, how do we get the tags to those people
Yes.
that can't show
part of being a commercial hauler in this town is that you have to produce a list of residents that you're picking up from. That's as simple as for them to come in and say, here's my list of people. We can easily validate that, right? That Joe Schmo, right, at Applewood I pick up his, so the allotment goes to that person, right? I mean, we can certainly get those to them, right? I mean, that's going to be the exception, right?
Yeah, it
You're
can
gonna
be the
have-
exception.
You got a handful of those, right?
Yeah, I mean,
A couple of handfuls.
the thing is that there are enough of these little glitches that it's not absolutely easy to get it done like that. So it's going to take us a month to try to
But I mean,
get
if we
these things
identify
done.
what those issues are now, we
Yeah.
can make some sort of plan to, address it.
Absolutely.
And the other issue with the commercial haulers is, are we even going to be allowing commercial haulers into the transfer station? I don't think we have determined that yet.
No, I think you're right. I think we've kind of banted that around. I think the committee certainly feeling is commercial hauler wants to haul household waste into the transfer station. It has to be, they have to comply with the policy, which is nothing goes in a hopper unless it's got a tag on it.
Yep.
Right? I don't see that's, and all of those folks that have been at those meetings have said, if that's what the rules are, that's what the rules are, as long as everybody is treated the same way.
But I think we never took a form, we discussed it, and we said we would make the determination at another date on
Yep.
if we were going to allow them or not. And I think we owe it to our commercial haulers to let them know, are we or are we not going to allow them into the transfer station? I think it hinges on if the pay as you throw or tag and bag, whatever, I think it's dependent on if that passes and if the LD1 override passes.
Yep.
Because if we don't get a paper bag system in place and the LD1 override for the transfer station doesn't pass, we have got to find some way to trim $245,000 out of that budget. And the only option that we may have at that point is not to allow any commercial haulers into the transfer station. So I think that's something that, as part of this policy, we kind of need to decide what we're going to do with that.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly where we need to be, Tammy Jo. I think there's some trigger points, right? As long as we move forward with a paper bag and that passes referendum-wise, and, we go forward with that, then I think you're right. All of the things fall in place. If that doesn't, then I think we have to evaluate whether or not we allow any commercially hauled household waste into the transfer station.
So maybe what we need to do is communicate that to the commercial haulers so that they understand if this passes, here's what we're going to do. If it doesn't passes, and then maybe that way the commercial haulers can communicate with their customers, and it may make a difference on if those residents support a pay-per-throw program or not.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought we'd made that decision, but I guess not.
Well, I think generally, as we all talked in the last workshop, that I think
We're all
that was
nodding, I
that was
think.
the flavor of, what everybody was thinking, but we've not officially declared that as the policy. So I guess
So,
if we look at the points that we want to make here, I mean, we can structure a policy statement here.
we get the 52 bags, we get the dollar each, and we're looking at starting,
I think August 1st. I think August 1st is
August
reasonable.
1st?
If we use July as our
yeah, I mean, if we get tags to
education month.
people, if we get the tags to people in July, that's their major piece of information right there. They get their tags. You got to have this on August 1st. And if you don't, then you're going to end up paying for a buck a bag.
Yep.
Yeah, the significant emotion
Put 'em
out
in
of
your
all
car.
of this won't take place until they run out of tags,
Yeah.
right? Once
And,
they-
and if people recycle well,
Right.
they hopefully won't run out of tags at all, or if they do, it'll be towards the end of the fiscal year. think the other thing that we need to address, and I know John brought this up in the past, and I wasn't in favor of it in the past because I didn't think it was time, but I think now is the time to address it, is are we going to have a bag size limit?
I think that,
If we are going to have a bag size limit. When you brought that up a month ago, I wasn't in favor of doing it a piece of the policy, but now that we're looking at putting this policy together as a whole, I think now it is appropriate to talk about that, and I think a bag limit is appropriate. Otherwise, you are going to have people that come in with honking contractor bags that are going to weigh 200 pounds. So I think doing it right up front and making it all part of the policy now, instead of implementing a policy and then changing it later on, is going to go smoother. I think if we don't do that now, and we wait and 6 months from now we say, yeah, okay, now we're going to have a limit on the bag size, I think people would take that as, oh yeah, they got it in the door, now it's going to keep changing and changing.
Here's the 5 things that kind of written down here that we need to structure into a policy, and I think we can do that and bring it back next week. 52, each household gets 52 free tags. After that initial disbursement, it's $1 a tag,
it's all age,
right? Start date firm August 1st,
August 1st.
all right? Commercial haulers, depending on the program being instituted, will be allowed to haul household waste to the transfer station in the appropriate bags.
With the,
right?
yeah, with
tags.
with the tags on.
In the bag size, I'm good with saying it's a, I think we were talking 33-gallon bag initially, and I think there's kind of the ones that we had before, the big yellow bag was 40 gallons, I think, but that was a kind of a quote-unquote non-standard bag. But,
We come to, 42, I think.
so I think you could say easily that nothing bigger than a 40-gallon or whatever that break, the contractor bags are like 50 gallons. or something,
55.
right?
48 and 50.
Right. So I think we just tie
You say
tie
nothing
into-
larger than a 40-gallon
Right,
bag?
40-gallon bag, and I mean, that's going to have to be,
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
And if they
that'll
bring
allow
in-
us to sell some of those Waterboro bags if we
Yeah.
want.
And if somebody wants to bring in a bag that's larger than 40 gallons, then they have to have multiple tags on it.
Pay a buck.
You have to have 2 tags.
Yeah.
all right?
2 tags, yeah.
Anything else that this kind of substance that we need to,
What's this?
any other items
Of
that kind of,
substance.
there's really those kind of.
Those, I
5
think
things.
I think that's the major thing, is say, if we say a 40-gallon limit, anything larger than that will require an extra tag or $1 spent. A tag and $1.
All right, the only other question that will come up is those businesses that have commercial waste that would be classified as commercial waste, that they choose to dispose of in a paid bag or a tagged bag. Is there an issue with that?
Well, you look at, small home businesses. I had like one gal that contacted me from a daycare.
Yep.
They bring their daycare trash to the transfer station just with their household waste. It's like, well, technically, commercial waste isn't supposed to go to the transfer station. Do you say to these home daycares now, oh, you can't bring your trash to the transfer station anymore? But if you allow those small businesses, then how do you say to a larger business, like, our Hannaford's, no, you can't?
Yep.
I mean,
But
you
Hannaford,
limit your
to be
size.
practical, Hannaford's not going to go out and bag everything.
Right, but I'm just saying, how do you say yes to one size business, no to another
But
size?
I think the trigger point is, it's got to be tagged, right? So if you want to go to the effort to tag a bag,
Yep.
right, and you have a business, you can, we get, there's commercial waste going in there every day now, right? So what you'll see some pullback because somebody that's paying a commercial hauler to haul it, that waste is no longer going to come to the transfer station. We've already made that determination that if it's a commercial product, a commercial waste, and it's hauled by a commercial hauler, they're hauling it somewhere else. Right?
That doesn't go to the transfer station.
Preferably to Eco Maine.
Yeah.
So that has to go to Eco
Wondering
Maine.
how many people are going to be putting trash in public receptacles.
I mean, it's pretty simple. When a commercial hauler comes in to the transfer station, everything that comes out of that truck's got to have tagged
Right.
bags.
And I think that's
whether
really
it's
the-
from a business or, we don't,
So I think local, we just need to define it. Local commercial establishments, right, can dispose of their waste in tagged bags, right? Because ultimately, the way that this is worded, it does say, you feel an equitable recycling waste management system that credits each household and business, right, with 52 tags. So we've kind of, it's like,
You've already included them.
already included them, right? So I think we just need to clarify that,
Yep.
and we'll call it local businesses, right? But I don't think you're going to see the large commercial establishments
no.
do anything different than
Two.
they're doing today.
Who's going to want to bag all that stuff? You know?
Anything else, we'll kind of hang that, put that together, and we'll just propose that as a policy next week, and that'll be added to the rules and regulations, I guess,
Yep.
right? As we call it.
How are we going to deal with the potential of carryover? Let's say that you have someone on the lake who gets their 52 bags because they're a taxpayer, but they're only up here for 3 months, and they save them up. Do they get another allotment the following year, or is it prorated out, or?
I think the intent right now is there's a one single free allotment. We're not, unless we make,
But that's per year, right?
well, we haven't said per year. We've said we're going to do one time, we will make this allotment. If you want to make it on an annual basis, you're right, then it comes into play.
Oh, my understanding was always that we were going to do that on an annual
Yeah,
basis.
that we're going to get 52 a year. That's
Okay,
what I
so
thought
that-
we've been
yeah.
talking about all
That's-
along.
then
But
if
I think
that's-
they have to have an
I think you
expiration
get a lot more
date. You know,
votes.
every year you have a
Then if
different
that's what we want to make sure that that's clear.
Yeah.
in these
Well, yeah,
rules,
that's why I'm
right?
asking.
Yeah.
So annually,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
but I think they expire after a year, and every year you get a
Right,
different
you
color.
change a
so-
different color.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That will keep people from, summer people from storing them up and selling them.
I
And
mean, it's all subject to, we're going to see how this program goes anyway, right? But I would think annually, right now, we would, and we may have to pull that back at some point in time, but we'll see what happens. But we need to make, if that's an issue, and we have talked about that, then we need to make sure that's clear going in.
Well, I think it's going to make a
Underground
significant
tanks.
difference if it's voted in or out, if it's, if
Yeah,
they're
I
just
know.
going to get a one-time.
Yeah, my understanding was always that it was
Yeah.
going to be annually, you got 52 tags.
Right,
Okay?
sure.
Anything else on that? All right. Annual warrant. I want to zip through this and see if there's any edits we need to make, other than the signatures. I think everybody's had a copy, I know.
Yeah.
we had
Nancy,
this stuff last week.
No, as always, did a wonderful job putting this together. If you come and see Nancy while she's trying to put it together, you notice her hair's all different ways from pulling it out, and so kudos, Nancy, you always do a really good job with this.
The question I had, Nancy, as we get into the meat of this, after the questions, which is on page 3, let me take that back. What does absentee ballots will be processed at the polls at the following times mean?
Instead of processing absentee ballots at 8 o'clock,
Yeah,
you can set the times during the day to start processing them.
so you don't have to do them all in one fell swoop?
No.
Okay.
If
So if we get 500 absentee ballots, She could divvy that up across those, all right.
We can do incremental counts instead of...
So that's, and that has to be in the warrant? There's another silly rule from Augusta. Sorry, Joe. Any, you want to go page by page here, folks? Anything on the introductory, this is all the bond, these are the numbers for the bond? Okay. So there's nothing else that is tagged there? And Julie will have to sign that naturally. Anything on the questions? In the Finance Committee, Tina's left, but the Finance Committee's recommendation on the question 1 is that it ought not to pass. Is that correct?
It's on the bond issue.
On the bond issue?
Right.
So
Yep.
I guess their recommendation would be that we pay down the bond. Okay. Charter Commission, did they make a recommendation or no? All right, so
not a
we
money
need to
article.
put in ought to pass for our recommendation.
Yeah, it's not a money article. Yeah, that's right.
And question 3 is what we just talked about. And this is going to be one warrant, right? So just so everybody is aware, the morning of the 8th, we need 25 people to be able to open the meeting.
I'm always there.
Yep.
It's Tuesday, election day.
Oh, election day. I thought it had to be for town meeting.
Well,
That's
that's
the
this is
start
an
of town
extension
meeting,
of
yeah.
town meeting.
And then Tuesday evening, after the polls close, we'll suspend town meeting until Saturday, reconvening on Saturday.
Okay.
Because this is the first year that we've been able to do our municipal elections in conjunction with the state.
We could have 2 separate warrants, right? It just makes it a little bit more cumbersome. And then the election warrant becomes just, what do you got, have 5 people to open the polls or something in a,
You would still need
oh, we need,
to. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have to. Because it's not part of your town meeting warrant.
right. But regardless, so. Article 3 is to accept the reports. I presume that the books are balanced and closed for 2009. Article 4, there are no items being carried forward here, so it's kind of we're going to zero them out, but we're not carrying anything forward. And Article 5 is the pull of the money out of the Conservation Commission to the EDC for the signs. Article 6, I think we've all been over this 100 times. The recommendation, say again?
On the back one,
Yep.
on Article 5,
Yeah.
maybe it's just the wording, I don't know, but we're asking them to appropriate $10,000, but in essence, we're not appropriating any money from taxation.
No.
We're transferring money from an existing
Which is,
account already.
which is an appropriation.
Oh,
so
it
we're
is still
not-
is classified as, okay.
So we're not raising,
Excuse me, that's why you can raise and appropriate. Raise is taxation.
Okay.
Appropriate is from.
right.
All
So
right.
when you say a raise and appropriate, that means you're raising it. Okay, here we're taking and appropriating money that already exists into a different account.
I'm enlightened now.
Okay? 6, we don't need to go through all of the intricate detail there. I think the lineup of the amounts, I did find it, I just quickly went through some of these just out of curiosity. The Finance Committee recommendations are, in this whole grand scheme of $684,000 request, is $9,535 less than what we've recommended, or 1.4%. Article 7 is
Leases.
all of the leases. And this difference here is the $3,000 vehicle lease for the fire department. Represents about a 1% difference between what we've recommended and what the finance committee has recommended. But it's 3%, it's 1% of the total request.
They also put in 0 for the port account fit
Oh, you're right,
tester.
I'm sorry, you're right.
So there were 2
There were 2 of them.
fire
Put account,
department
yeah.
requests that were not
Okay.
recommended.
So we're looking at about 5,000.
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
about 5,000,
5,000.
so it's a little more than that. Article 8 is unemployment, I think we're all in agreement there. Article 9, we're in agreement there, that's municipal building equipment, maintenance, streetlights, etc. Article 10, significant, this is the capital municipal facilities, the little, like septic cleaning, the furnace cleaning, the heat tapes. So they have recommended that we do not do an energy audit and that we do not put an LED outdoor sign here other than that.
And they reduced the,
And the
they've
fence
reduced
cut in
the
half.
fence down to half. So they've taken $11,000 out of this, thereabouts. Article 11. The only difference, again, is the wages representing $231.34, 0.3%. Article 12,
Same thing.
same thing. Article 13, this is the Waterboro Public Library, so there's a difference there of about $1,500. Article 14, Parks and Rec. Our request of 167.7 has been reduced to 162.1. Article 15, Planning Board. Again, the only change would be in the secretarial wages and the retirement. Article 16, ZBA, that is what it is, right? Article 17 is the operational cost of the fire department and EMS. There's about $3,400, 33 something difference, I thought 34,000 difference between, no, take that back.
20,000 on the
20,000.
fire
20,000
department line.
in the fire department and about
And-
$3,400 in EMS. Okay. Equipment, the biggest, significant biggest hit is the equipment request by the fire chief for $15,650. The finance committee recommends 0. And we had 13,000 going into this year. So,
Some of that's
It
for
i-
mandatory equipment tests.
it is what it is. We'll have the discussion at town meeting. Article 18,
I mean, I believe the finance committee think that the equipment is under another
Right.
piece, but
And they did
I
not-
think when you get down to describing it, that the chief can show that, he'll make his point.
right. 19 is hydrant rental. Again, the amount original request from the water district is 42. We had some discussions with the water district to get to 36,750. I'm not sure we're there yet, right, Nancy? There's no evidence that they've done anything with their rates, which probably is, just as a reminder, we need to follow up with Mr. Levy from Maine Rural Water.
If they have made an adjustment, are we going to make an adjustment to our amount requested to reflect?
We could going in, if we knew that. Right now, I don't think we know that.
No, okay.
We can always change it on townhouse floor, too.
Right.
Yeah.
You can always take them down to the townhouse floor, you can't go up. Article 20, this is the transfer station. Is this where this is staying? With the LD1 override? Do we have to move this to somewhere else?
Oh, weren't we going to put that at the tail end of the warrant? So,
Yeah, I know we,
Move it? You want to move it to the end of the warrant?
yeah, 'cause
Well-
we're going to tie it in with the transfer station.
How do we vote for an LD1 override of X amount of dollars? Right, but we vote for that. That makes the assumption that every article after this passes, right?
Or you
And-
just go through it, and at the end of the, at the end, you tally, and if you need another override,
But
You do it at the
you
end.
we
gotta
have
do
to
it.
have it in the
You
warrant.
have
We have to have it in the warrant.
Right. So I think you
Plus-
gotta, I think this article's gotta move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, we had said if some of the,
Because if some of the
some of
others
the
get
articles came
reduced,
down, got reduced, it would
It would be
reduce
less
what we
of an
would have to
override.
request for an override. Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, it should be the last,
People there, don't you?
it should be the last one.
all right.
That's true.
hey, it is what it is, right? So that, both of those articles will move, Nancy?
Yep. Below.
Article 22 was restoration recovery of high valuable historical documentation.
Just to back up, when we move those, can we make sure that the finance committee gets a revised copy so that they, thank you.
Article 22, we were looking for 71,000. The finance committee recommended 23,900. This is the capital item.
They zeroed out the fire EMS study, and
What is the improvements, Nancy? Isn't that the, oh, I'm sorry.
improvements for the transfer station.
Article 23. No, that's the transfer station. I thought
That's
they,
the-
I thought David said that they agreed to approve that. Dave Woodson, at one of our meetings, said that the finance committee changed their recommendation on that.
I don't know, I have to check. I'll check on that one.
We have that.
Yeah, because that was for the new compactor, right?
Right.
We have a finance committee report in the back and here, so it may be in that report.
No, we don't have a report. Of the warrant?
No, they
No,
just
that's-
No,
have
the
the
finance
that's
committee
just
has
a
a
breakdown.
report of their last meeting and what they did in their
Oh.
last meeting.
Right, they sent us a, was it in
Oh, the
this one, or was
minutes.
it in the one before it?
It's,
Last week's agenda?
No, it's,
It was in this one.
I think it's in
It's
this,
in the minutes.
in our,
Yeah, I don't have minutes here.
You're talking about the minutes we got.
yeah, the minutes.
Yeah. I thought that
The
was last
finance
week.
committee's minutes are in here.
I got them this week. Right here.
Okay. So what did that say?
Yeah, see. It's in there.
Right, so they voted 301 for a new, the recycling, made the motion to approve the 26. So that's, you got to change that in the warrant article. Okay? So their goes up to what, 50, almost 50,000, right? Well, a little over 50,000. And the authorization to sell recycling materials. you know, this just, the way that this reads kind of is funky. Because we don't sell recycled, single-sort recycling material. What we're selling is like steel
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Anyway,
Compost.
and compost and things like that.
It's called wall candy down there.
24 is the roads.
They've got more in there.
Like, what they did was they did something with the ditching.
They added $10,000 to the ditching line in Article 24, but took $10,000 from the CIP ditching in
Right.
Article 25.
Right, so that would be creative accounting, right?
Don't know why.
Yeah.
Robin Peter to pay Paul.
Well, I think what they're saying is that the ongoing program should be up a bit, and the one-time
Yeah.
should be down, so, I mean, I guess it is what it is, right? All right, 26, the question that I have is that should we make sure that everybody understands going into town meeting that there is a warrant article that would allow them to enter into a tax club? Because it's kind of quiet, right?
Yeah, that was on there last year too, right?
No,
No.
first year.
Oh, this is the first year?
So we ought to just, as we prep for town meeting, make sure that people understand that in an effort to
Ease the impact.
right, perfect words, ease the impact, a lessen the,
He rode his motorcycle.
but it is, I think it gives the opportunity to, all right, shall the town vote to authorize road commissioner with physical approval of board to public for emergency winter roads? Why do we have this in here? Because we have it every year, even though we illegally can't do it.
Different, it's on every year, but
Right.
legally it doesn't mean anything.
All right,
But you can't do it.
Article 28,
I guess, why do we have it in there then?
well, I think for years, people said, we're gonna make sure that if there's an emergency situation, we're gonna get them out,
Yeah.
right?
And it's authorized to do, so people scream that we're doing
But-
private roads.
But then, when you look at the state law, it doesn't make any consideration for emergency use. It just says you cannot spend money on a private road.
But if somebody's having a heart attack down a private road, obviously, we're gonna get them.
Right.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah,
you know,
that's,
it was so that if the rescue had a call on a public, on a private road, and it was a snowstorm, they could call the plow and say,
Right.
come and plow to this
Right.
house so we can get out.
Right.
That was the,
And this is very specific that it is emergency winter maintenance, not, geez, it's mud season,
Yeah.
right?
And you may want to reword this a little bit to match the policy that the selectmen voted in a few years ago. This could be done from 10 on the hour.
With the road commissioner and the fire,
Well, maybe we should, because there is a policy that we say, the fire chief and the,
road commissioner.
No,
How-
I think we even added the sheriff.
We
right,
did?
but we said, yeah, did we?
Did we?
I don't think we included Pam, but you're right, we did include the deputy sheriff, or the contract deputy, the road commissioner, and the fire chief. So it wasn't a unilateral decision, so
Yeah.
probably ought to add that in.
this would be for roads like they got washed out, but you had a medical emergency down there, they could dump a load of gravel just to get their ambulance in and out, right?
But the way that this reads,
It's
it
only
says for
winter
winter
roads.
maintenance.
Winters.
It was the road commissioner and the contract deputy or the fire chief or designee.
Yeah,
So it
whatever
wasn't,
the
it wasn't all
policy
three
reads,
of them, I don't
right.
think.
Right, I think it, whatever the policy reads, and I guess the question is, I mean, even though that legally we're not supposed to spend money on private roads, Gordon brings up a valid issue. If there is an emergency on a washed-out road, what is the town's, I mean, are we gonna say
Yeah.
to the road commissioner, go do something?
What's an
Right.
emergency there? I mean, the emergency is I mean, you're not, if you've got a person that's having a medical emergency, you're not going to go fix a road because you don't have the time to do it. You're going to go in and get them somehow. So other than that, what would be the emergency?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, one way or the other, you're gonna get something that goes in to get them, right?
Yeah,
So it might be a moot
if you
point.
carry them, hand carry them out, yeah, or a four-wheeler or something like that.
All right, so we'll change the way that the selectmen policy reads, even though it's, some legal beagle comes in. All right, so this is, Article 28 is Pam's exorbitant salary of $2,810, $2,900 and $10, $29. And I think as we move forward, I would still like to know what the hours, and I'm not sure why our EMA director has to be volunteer and not get reimbursed for the time that she puts into municipal functions,
'Cause she's
and
just
everybody
generous
else
like
gets
that.
paid, right?
It could start in July, especially if they're going to be, now that I'm a EMA in my town and get reimbursed 50% of my budget, I can start, we can't do it for this year, it could go for next year, and just say, every time you're physically doing something, as long as it's 50% reimbursed.
I guess my request, Pam, would be if you could, as we go forward from this point until budget season, if you recorded all of the hours that you put in that would be specific to duties for this town, would be nice to know what that is. Because I just have a struggle with, everybody else gets paid. Not that I want to create bigger government, but I have a hard time saying, we expect Pam to be here every time there's an emergency. Yep, we've got her a big budget of $2,910 a year.
It's my expensive hobby.
Well, there's a question of fundamental fairness.
Right. I guess that's where I'm coming from. 29. This is for cemeteries, recycling committee, Memorial Day, Taylor Fry Levitt House. What do we still fund the Taylor Fry Levitt House for?
We give them just, $5,000 a year, and they take care of, pay for it to.
Paint the place.
Upkeep, electricity, heat.
Okay. I mean, we physically own that building, right?
Right, and we lease it to the historical society.
But we don't do anything to the Lions Club. Okay, we own that building too, right? But we lease it to the, okay, I'm just trying
It's a
to,
different lease.
all right.
Was the Taylor House on the National Register? Did we get any funds from that, or is that just an honorary designation for some type of protection?
You can't tear it down.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so there's no argument here. The money is being approved by both parties. 30 is Old Home Days.
All in agreement there?
So the revenue is what, the real issue is that we're saying that whatever revenues that they raise under the, kind of the auspices of this, they get to spend, right? We get specifically a number, but, okay. 31, we as a board, we didn't list all of the requests, right? All we put in is what we recommended. So unlike previous years where there's been 20 requests and we, right? And the finance committee has recommended no money for anybody. York County Deputy, is that a firm number going in? And both us and the finance committee are recommending that number. Same as the Lake Arrowhead Conservation Council looking for donation of $3,000 out of a conservation account. Fire roads, same language as we've always had, right? Collection of taxes, 7% on interest rate on abated property. And vote to authorize a tax collector or treasurer to accept prepayments of taxes not yet committed. All right? So the warrant represents 3.8 million, 3.9.
Can we go back to Article 33 for a moment? Is that the same as the milfoil?
Yes, that's
Yep.
that's the request that they made here the other night.
Did I mishear during the Finance Committee's report that they did not vote on that because
Was
of
late.
the time, was
Yeah,
late,
that
was
is
the
what they
time?
said. They said they didn't make a recommendation.
Yeah, and it shows in here that they recommended ought to pass, so we probably ought to strike that line.
No, right in their minutes of April 12th. Lake Arrowhead Conservation Council requests $3,000 to help with their effort. No motion was made due to lack of information, so so it's got to be taken out of it. Good catch there.
Okay.
Okay. So it would be no recommendation, right, other than... Anything else? What's your intent, Nancy, have everything ready to sign next week?
I might have to go into, I might have to tweak, you might have to tweak one of the articles. Article 25, the additional road ditching,
Yep.
is the vote goes finance committee, that's $10,000 from the road block grant money that didn't get appropriated, and you have to appropriate
Where that's coming.
all of it.
So it needs to go back into the previous article?
Yeah, well, that's what I looked at, we didn't take anything out of taxation, so.
So it was all excise tax and, what'd you say, it was 25?
Yeah, on the 24 the road budget, we did take some out of the road block grant and excise.
So I guess you just flip-flop it, take the 80 or 70,000 out of roadblock, URIP, right? 60,000 from URIP would be 75. It's not, yeah, it's 75,000 from URIP, right? So it would all be applied to 24, and this would have to be $60,000 from excise, right? Should net out the same. But, yeah, it has to be appropriated at town meeting, even though we might not get 75. Anything else on the warrant?
Just an idea. We want to do some education on some of these articles, on the referendums, probably on the tax club. What if we got in touch with public television? I know years past, the selectmen used to read the warrant,
Yep.
and they'd publish it. What if we just asked them if they could do a recording of the referendum articles, the tax club? If there's anything else there that maybe we peg out.
Paper bag.
And we
Well,
could
that
go
would be
over,
one of
we
the-
could
one
go
of the
over there and do
referendums.
yeah,
Yep,
you're gonna stand in front of the green screen and...
yep. Maybe kind of have a Q&A. What are some of our, I think we can anticipate what some of the questions are going to be, so we explain what it is and then maybe do kind of ask the question and give the answer.
Yeah, do a frequency, all we gotta do is develop
thank
a
you.
frequently asked questions
Yeah.
list, right? And just address those.
FAQ.
Yeah, let's maybe Pam can contact, what's his name over there, and see if we could get half hour of his time. Well, it'll take probably more than a half hour to record it, but he'll distill it down, and he can feed in some pictures, and he does a very good job at that. And seeing how we cut a check for them every year, it'd be nice to utilize that. All right, let's jump back to the agenda. Guess we're at other warrants and bills for payroll.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Pending decisions, we've got the same stuff here. Weeks,
Can we-
I haven't had a chance to get down there to measure that out yet.
okay.
Can we put some cap dates on these so we're not, I mean, these ones that we have on here have been on here for months now.
Well, I guess my put is that we've talked about committee involvement, we've kind of executed the bulk of what we talked about there. I'm not sure why we,
What if we have that as an agenda item next week, just to wrap up?
okay,
Get it off our pending list, determine if this is working, and wrap that one up.
yeah. And the staff training ones, Nancy, you were handling, right?
Yep, for the department heads, well, maybe we'll try to wrap it up at our meeting next week, but it may take one more.
So we'll put committee involvement on the agenda.
I'll try to get that lot.
Yeah, if we
Measured
get,
out,
we
too,
get
so
at
we
least,
can-
week's action list, we're gonna get, the policies thing done. I'll work with John on that if you want, John,
Sure.
on the, for the paper bag.
You gonna reply to Mr. Okray on Hemlock, let him know that we had a date?
I will let Mr. Rocray and,
Have we,
Mr. Meadow, I think.
have we
the
decided,
other one was
Neto, Ms.
Neto.
have we decided when we're going to do the snow plowing contract? Yes,
It's in the works, right?
Yeah.
okay.
I just had some questions on mileage on a couple of roads and started looking at it.
Oh, good.
I got the package already, so.
Yeah.
I got it dated for Friday, so I hope I can get it out.
Oh, good, good.
For Friday, good, because it was, I know at least there's concerns from one of the potential bidders regarding, how they're going to proceed with equipment and, stuff like that before they commit amounts of, money or.
Nancy, the other thing, I guess, and I don't know if Pam's going to review this tape or not, but the PSA, she can contact Saco River Community Television.
Did the letters go out to the road commissioner candidates who might be also interested in bidding?
Yes.
Yeah, there's well, they didn't go out yet. There's another piece that,
I thought they did, because I talked to one today and said he did it.
I'm sure.
There's another piece?
Well, Nancy talked about, the, the other piece is whether or not a road commissioner can contract himself to go do road work, okay? And based on some of Ken's responses, when we get talking about can a road commissioner hold a plow contract, right? And that resolved, I think as we go down the legal path there, the answer's pretty clear, right? That you can't do both, right? So one of the indications that Ken had was also on equipment base, right? One of the questions I think that Nancy posed was, well, if a town employee happens to be using the contractor's truck, what happens? Is he a town employee, is he a contractor, whatever? But one thing led to another, so Ken is just, in fact, he sent this, Nancy handed this to me just before the meeting, right? And this creates a whole, or opens up a bigger can of worms. Because what Ken is saying is that the state of Maine conflict of interest statute makes it clear that an elected official cannot approve contracts or take other actions that lead to an indirect or direct pecuniary benefit. Okay? So what this says is that what we have done from a precedent anyway, all these years, where a road commissioner hires himself to do the work, that would be in direct conflict with the state law.
I mean,
Yeah.
this has been something back, I think, when I was first involved with the Finance Committee, maybe 15, 20 years ago, was brought this up. And it's been an issue in the back of my mind or in the front for ever since. And now, especially, that we've become a little more sophisticated in town government, and we're dealing with bigger money. We really, and this really this tends to push the whole situation that we've been talking about as to whether you have a road commissioner or you have a Department of Public Works. Because when you have a road commissioner, oftentimes the road commissioner is a person that knows roads and works on them in town. And that's the way, that's the history, the way the history's been. So now it's looking that, according to Ken, is you have a road commissioner, he really cannot be hiring himself or his own equipment or even family members to do town work, where he's there overseeing the project.
Since this is only now a few hours old, I think we need to get a copy to everybody, and I'm not suggesting that we start pulling a plug and doing everything differently tomorrow, but I think that as we move into this whole year, we've already talked about, do we have issues with the road commissioner who may be bidding for, may or may not be bidding for a snowplow contract, and now I think as we continue to poke at more questions, not that this is a surprise with any great extent, but we're now getting to the point where it is becoming increasingly evident that we have some issues. And to John's point, I think that if we tackle this going forward and we say these are the steps that we're going to take, all right, including that Ken's suggestion that we could go to the people without a charter commission and look at a change of the magnitude that we don't have a road commissioner anymore, we have a department manager, and that would give us the ability to at least appoint, right? But I think you have to look at how do you transition out of this?
Yeah.
You just can't say, that's it, done today, we're going to go do something different.
But I think
Because we've got 200 years of precedent.
I don't know, I didn't read all of Ken's letter, but he had told me earlier that the only way to go around it is, and it has to be the Board of Selectmen bid out all the work. And if the road commissioner then comes in as the lowest bidder,
Then you can do
then
it
they
that way.
can do it.
But I think let's get a copy of this to everybody before they.
And then there's when the road commissioner is actually doing certain projects that the supervision needs to be an intervention from the Board of Selectmen or the or designee other than the road commissioner to be his own supervisor. You know?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that we can do is recognize that there's going to have to be a transition. And
Yeah.
how do we manage out of that transition over the next?
I think the big thing is a snowplow contract. You know, that's where you're talking about big money and involved in it, and a fair amount of supervision. So either if the road commissioner got the snowplow contract, then we got to take the supervision away from the road commissioner and that.
And are we willing to do that?
And who can do that?
Dennis? Dennis is the chair right now. You going to drive around next winter? Is that right?
Well, I'll tell you, there has been chairs of this board that have done that in the past.
Well, that's true. You're right.
The problem is,
All right.
the board is appreciating it because you guys sign the warrant.
Right. So, it's,
I didn't
it's
even
an,
think of that, but Ken brought it up.
it is an, put it this way, it is an issue that we have to address. I think the sooner that we put all of the cards out on the table, and I don't think any of us have the answer of, okay, this is how it's all gonna come out, but I think we have an obligation to start to move in some direction.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
put the bids
yeah.
out Friday, when will we be opening bids and awarding bids? Will it be prior to the election?
Could be, because it'd be 30 days probably, and we're 45 away from it. Anyway,
I can tell you, it's being eyed very, very closely.
okay,
As it should.
anything else? So the letter to the road commissioners candidates, we probably can, at least from the snowplow contract basis, we ought to be able to resolve that. I think there's a bigger question that's coming up. And if nothing more, we probably ought to set the three of them down with this board and say, it might not happen tomorrow, but during, whoever is elected during that term, right, there will be some changes that the board is gonna move towards. And I think legally, we're gonna be driven that way, so, okay?
Yeah.
Let me find there's only two. I think there's one party that didn't put the papers in.
Oh, is that right? So we've only got two now?
That's my understanding.
Oh, okay.
All
I
right,
mean, and just one more piece in this, if the road commissioner himself is, I would think would want this changed, because essentially they're sticking their neck out there. So if someone goes out and says, this foul play here, they're gonna have a hard time defending themselves when you don't have that interaction. So I think, and that was my concern, not that road commissioners were prone to, if anything, they put a heck of a lot of time, free time, but they're open to criticism, and it would have a hard time defending themselves.
Well, actually now, if you're a selectman, you can't hold the snowplow contract either, right?
Right.
So,
you gotta pick your poison, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? So agenda items, we'll bring the committee involvement.
John talked a couple weeks ago about doing a review of our goals.
Yeah, that should be, there's something else on there too that,
We're gonna bring back the transfer station, or the pay per bag policy for
Yeah.
official adoption.
We really need to name that, so we're all calling it the same thing, too.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we'll coin a phrase.
Take it back.
Tag a bag.
Is that like whack-a-mole or?
Yeah, whack-a-mole.
Executive session next week?
We have an executive, it looks like we'll have an executive session. I think we should have, we may have two, but we know of at least one as a result of you two guys' work. And that one we can do later rather than early, right?
yeah.
What else? So committee involvement, policy,
Oh, yeah,
goals.
and we probably, next week or the week after, should set up appoint the committee for
Oh,
the
2020.
comprehensive plan. And
All
we've
right.
got people who
Yep.
have signed up the paperwork, and we need to get started on that. So probably maybe next week,
I
comprehensive
think
plan.
there's at least 9 applications, if not a few more.
Yeah,
Yep, good.
Wow.
So I'm fine, we can put that on next week.
yeah.
And are we going to have the final warrant signed next week?
Since it's been the subject of a number of emails, should we at least include a discussion in there on whether or not we want to entertain any type of moratorium on
Marijuana?
the
Medical
medical marijuana?
Probably put it on as a discussion item anyway.
Yeah, I think it probably ought to be up for discussion.
Yep.
The first round.
Okay. That probably fills the night up.
That any facilities would be in
Are you
South
here?
Waterboro.
Right. I think that's
Well, there's a long history of hemp production in Waterboro anyway, when the shipbuilding trade was, in full swing. So,
all right. Let me read the reminders here. Signatures, warrants, and bills of payroll. Planning board tomorrow night in this room. Economic Development Committee here at 4 p.m. on Thursday. Historical Society Town Hall, 7 p.m. Is it this Saturday or when is the Saturday that the Historical Society's getting together at the Grange?
22nd.
Okay, 22nd. Cribbage tournament, the ever-popular cribbage tournament, 8:30 a.m. Saturday morning. Finance Committee meeting, Town Hall, 6:30 p.m. Monday night. Parks and Rec, 7 p.m. Monday night, the Town Hall. Cemetery Committee meeting, Town Hall, 7 p.m. Monday night. And then next week here, and reporting is the EDC. Okay?
I
John?
move that we adjourn.
Oh, on the action item list, just thought of it, making sure the candidates know, candidates' night is
Oh,
going to be
yes,
next
letter
Thursday.
to, notification to the candidates. Okay,
now I'll second.
The
John?
motion is still on the floor.
Moved and seconded to adjourn, all those in favor? Opposed? Good night.